Namaste, this is Srini from Figuring Out Hinduism. I am going to reveal something here that's going to blow your mind away. Most of us, like almost 99% of the people, don't have a real understanding of the real Varna system. When they talk about Varna, they are actually referring to the caste system because of the history lessons that we were taught in school and college. Not many people know, but the word caste comes from the Spanish or Portuguese word casta, which literally means tribe, breed, race, or lineage. This was one of the words that were imported into English language. There are a lot of Hindi words too, like guru, mantra, kamarband, jugad. There are also some words from Tamil that have been imported, like Katamaran for Tamil word Kattumaram. So the Brits, when they ruled India, they propagated a bunch of hoaxes like the Aryan invasion theory and the caste system to justify their rule. Also, the caste system was a European model which the Brits tried to apply on the Indian context, pitching it equal to the Varna system. It was to help their divide and rule policy. That's why they divided India and Pakistan. It worked wonderfully well, so much so that 7 decades after independence, the younger generation thinks that the Varna system and the caste system are same and it has to be abolished. I have done extensive research on scriptures personally, and everywhere, and literally everywhere, the scriptures talk about equality, and it is not just human beings, it encapsulates all living beings: trees, plants, insects, animals, human beings, everything. The idea is to treat all life forms respectfully. That's Advaita Vedanta for you, which was propounded by the great Adi Shankaracharya. That's the best tenet of Bharat. That's the basic essence of all scriptures. The real Varna system was about a person pursuing a craft based on the individual's choice and capabilities. Like sage Vedavyasa, who wrote the Mahabharata and Bhagavad Purana, was the son of a Matsya Kanya, a woman who belonged to the fisherman community. But Vedavyasa is regarded as one of the greatest sages of India. Sage Valmiki, the sage who wrote Ramayana, he is considered the greatest sage India has produced ever. Valmiki was actually a dacoit. His real name was Ratnakarda, who would loot waylaid travelers. But he had a transformation when his wife and son left him forever, when they got to know that the money he was getting them was from killing and looting people. Varna system simply meant you do the work that you are best at, and that's how you contributed to the society in the best possible way. So a clerk's son could become a cricketer, or a chaiwala could become a prime minister of the country. If the individual was good at the job, he would get all the support from the society and the people. That's the real Varna system for you, the best person for the job. What we need to understand is that the current problems in the society is not because of the Varna system. They are because of the myopic mindset of the society and lackadaisical understanding of the basic tenets of the scriptures. All societies deteriorate over time. Human societies are like radioactive materials, they decay as time passes by. All human societies do. Here are a few examples. USA has its problems with racism. You know how George Floyd was killed in police custody. Australia has its racism problems too. UK, they ruled the world for a few hundred years, claiming racial superiority. They were the ones who created the Aryan invasion theory to justify their moral ownership of India. Germans did the same. Do I need to mention the reasons for World War I and World War II? You may counter me with the theory of Aryanism and the swastika, but given that Aryan invasion theory has been proved as absolute rubbish Hitler's claim to be an Aryan and therefore his claim to be the ruler of the world was nothing but a Machiavellian way of moral substantiation of his aggrandized personal plans of ruling the world. Middle East has its share of nuisance, Taliban, ISIS, there's the Shia Sunni conflict in the Muslim world. So, this cycle of deterioration is also explained in the scriptures. It is the concept of the Chaturyuga. Castigating the Varna system is like complaining about the manufacturer of your mobile phone when it gets a little wonky after you have used it for maybe a year or so. It starts acting like that because you started accumulating all kinds of unuseful things on your mobile phone, pictures, videos, and music on your mobile phone, and over time the phone starts acting funny and crappy. So what do? You don't question the manufacturer for a mobile phone that has become dysfunctional because it has accumulated crap, unless the manufacturer is dynamically doing that in real time, which is not doable in this case, in this context. You just go delete stuff, maybe archive some stuff, and then do a factory reset, and voila, your mobile phone is working again. So, agreed, there's a problem with the society right now, and that has to be fixed. But it will be absolutely ridiculous to make the old systems and paradigms responsible for it. So, what's the solution? It's Advaita Vedanta, respect all living beings. That's the reason Adi Shankaracharya toured the entire country on foot 2000 years ago, because people got sick of the society and started looking for other options. And in fact, in this case, it was other religions. That's why he propounded the Advaita Vedanta, the real essence of all the scriptures. Because there was a need to change the mindset of the society. And how do you do that? You need to intellectually influence them. Advaita Vedanta, respecting all living beings. So, Advaita Vedanta is the reason most Brahmins are vegetarians. Yeah, they do eat plants. Something is required for sustenance, isn't it? But it's the fruits and vegetables that grow from plants that are consumed. The plants are not harmed in any way. Also, these fruits and vegetables have seeds, and new plants can be grown from them. That's also the reason the Dharma Shastras didn't allow people to eat tubers, carrots, potatoes. They were not Indian anyway. Because tubers meant uprooting a plant and causing loss of life, which was a complete no no. In fact, my grandparents would not touch onions and garlic too, like Jains of Gujarat. I also have a 82, 83-year-old paternal uncle who has never eaten onions or garlic ever in his life. I have personally experienced the hindrance that onions and garlic cause to speech and mental faculties the hard way. I'm learning the Vedas, and initially it's just about reading and memorizing them. They don't tell you the meaning. And man, do they have tongue twisters? They are full of tongue twisters. Some of the words are so complicated that you think you wish to say, and what you say would be completely different. I realized if I had a snack containing onions or garlic up to 2 hours before my Veda class, I would struggle reciting these tongue twisters. Advaita Vedanta is the only solution to it. The factory reset of the society that Adi Shankaracharya did 2000 years ago has to be done again. I am a huge proponent of Advaita Vedanta because it is about equality and respect for all living beings. Please do subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. Please do share this with your near and dear ones so that we can together figure out the third largest religion of the world.